Now, I am by no means a good swordsman or anything like that, but I definitely found a sword inside of Destiny 2 that makes you want to channel my inner swordsman and improve. Not saying we'll be like our boy Zoro or anything, but that's okay. We can still infuse our sword with some good old armament hockey and go to work. Like the One Piece reference, make sure to subscribe. August 6th is gonna break the internet. Anyways, let's talk about this sword. The thin precipice is our first Strand sword inside of the game, meaning it's gonna have some synergies with Strand, believe it or not. Something to note is that it's also a vortex frame, similar to the fallen guillotine. Now, swords are not really in the strongest position per se, and this sword you're certainly not going to use on a boss. However, there's definitely some fun to be had with this weapon, and for what it's worth, it does have hatchling, which can be pretty fun. It also does have chain reaction in the fourth column, which I think a lot more people would go for than hatchling. And then for the third column, pretty sure most people would go for something like Unrelenting for a little bit of survivability, especially if you're on a Strand subclass that's not a Titan. You don't have as much access to Woven Mail as a Strand Titan does, so this may help you in keeping you alive. It also does have things like Relentless Strikes and Tireless Blade. Personally, I think what I like the most about a Strand sword is the fact that it does have access to unraveling rounds. Even though it's a sword, you're just going to give yourself some free extra damage whenever you do apply this debuff to an enemy. Or if you can give your Strand weapons unraveling rounds, especially this season, we have access to Strand Soldier, which whenever you get Woven Mail, you get unraveling rounds. So pairing this gun with the Navigator, with Strand Soldier, and the improved unraveling seasonal mods will create some pretty fun action and allow for a little bit of some chaos to spread about, which is always good. Or of course, if you are on a Strand Titan, you can get Woven Mail so easily and proc both of those seasonal artifact perks, allowing you to really chew through the enemy. Now, I did use this sword inside of a GM. I had on strongholds, and it actually performed pretty well. Granted, we did have a Strand Surge, so that did help the sword to chew through some of the actual champions, which was mainly what I was using it for. Ain't no way I was gonna go slice up the Fallen Walker or the Flying Servitor Sepix Prime Servitor with a damn butter knife. I mean a box cutter. Butter knives are what we refer to glaives. Haha. Of course, strongholds are a little broken right now. They just give you free restoration ×2 on it. But even still, a sword in the GM, you're generally not gonna get away with that. Luckily, because it's Strand sword, that unraveling debuff really does play an effect and helps the sword put in some work. It gives it anti-barrier capabilities, kind of like Lament, but it's less buggy than Lament. Or rather, there's less of a skill issue there. I know there's some die-hard Lament users out there. Dude, me personally, I just suck with that gun. Sword. It's not a gun, it's a sword. I generally don't talk about swords that much, but this seasonal weapon arsenal just kind of felt weak. Like, the gun that was getting the most attention was a rapid-fire Strand shotgun. That's because it's the 5th Horseman. And all the other ones are like legendary primaries or a sniper rifle. I'm not really biggest fan of those types of weapons. This sword at least is fun. Other than that though, guys, this is going to wrap up the video. Thank y'all so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this sword. If you used it, consider subscribing. Y'all be safe. We'll see you in the next one.